আসছে সেটা হচ্ছে P inverse which is this. Well, now the last process, last step, diagonalization condition হচ্ছে we have this matrix P. কিভাবে তৈরি করছি? এটা হচ্ছে আইগেনভেক্টর দিয়ে, দুইটা আইগেনভেক্টর দিয়ে তৈরি করছি। আর অরিজিনাল ম্যাট্রিক্স হচ্ছে এই যে এটা, ধরো সেটা হচ্ছে আই ডোন্ট নো, লেটস সে A। হ্যাঁ, আমি শুরুতে মনে এই ধরছিলাম, রাইট? আর এটা হচ্ছে P ইনভার্স A, এটা হচ্ছে ডায়াগোনালাইজেশনের কন্ডিশন। ডায়াগোনালাইজেশনের কন্ডিশন এইটা হলে ডায়াগোনালাইজ হবে। সো আমি এটা কি করলাম, এটা মুছে ফেলছি। ওকে, আমি কি আমার রেকর্ডেড ভিডিওতে দেখতে পাচ্ছি 1 1 0 -1? ওকে, সো আমি আমার রেকর্ড থেকে দেখলাম 1 1 0 -1। সো তোমরা জানো যে লাইভ চললে রেকর্ডটা একটু পরে আসে। যাই হোক, ইন্টারেস্টিং ফ্যাক্ট হচ্ছে যে আমাদের এটা তোলা দরকার ছিল, আমি আগেই ভুলে মুছে ফেলছি। সো P হচ্ছে 1 1 1 1 0 -1. That is weird. I don't have a space. Why don't I write it here, right? So I can write it here. Oh, this is very weird because P inverse হচ্ছে সেম আসছে, জাস্ট নরমালি কিন্তু কখনোই এরকম মানে সেম আসবে এটা তুমি দাবি করতে পারো না, এটা জাস্ট একটা কাকতালীয় ব্যাপার। আচ্ছা, A ম্যাট্রিক্স কোনটা? এই যে এটা, দিস ইজ 4 0, এদিক থেকে আসবে হচ্ছে 1 3. Is this looking difficult to you? I hope not. P inverse হচ্ছে এই যে এটা, so which is same as P, which is pretty weird because this is never the case, because most of the time you will see that P and P inverse are different, right? So now we have these three matrices, and we will have to multiply them, right? Matrix multiplication. So 1 1 0 -1. So now I have this 4 times 1 is basically 4. 1 times 0 is basically 0. I have 4 times 1 is basically 4. 1 times -1 is basically -1. And I have 0 times 1 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 0 times 1 is 0. 3 times -1 is basically -3. So what I have is that I have 1 1 0 -1 here. And I have this 4 0 and then 3 -3. This is what the situation looks like, right? So now I have 4 times 4, sorry, 1 times 4, which is 4, 1 times 0, which is 0. I have 1 times 3, which is 3, and 1 times -3, which is basically -3. Well, I have 0 times 4, which is 0. I have -1 times 0, which is 0. You know, remember that I'm not explaining you the multiplication of matrices because I'm also already considering that you must know that. Although I did a math on that, you can watch that on this playlist. So now you have 0 times 3 is 0, -1 times -3, which is basically +3. Well, what do we have here? We have a very interesting situation. I'm going to write that down up here, right? I need some space. Okay, so we have 4 plus 0, which is basically 4. Remember, guys, this is PAP inverse. That is the condition of diagonalization. 0 minus 0 is simply 0. It doesn't really matter if your subtract from 0. So 3 minus 3 is basically 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. That is quite a situation. We have a diagonalized matrix, folks, and that is 4003. That is 4003. Do you notice some difference? What do you see? Do you see some difference? That is, remember our eigenvalues. They were 4 and 3. Remember this. Our eigenvalues were 4 and 3. You can watch that in my recorded video. An interesting fact is that you can see those eigenvalues. They are in the diagonal, right? So the reason we call it a diagonalized matrix because it is a diagonal matrix. It is a diagonal matrix. A diagonal matrix only consists element along the diagonal which are non-zero, and all the other elements are 0. And also in a diagonalized matrix, the elements on the diagonal are basically the eigenvalues. That is interesting. That is quite interesting. So that's how you can also be sure that you have properly diagonalized the matrix. Well, that is all.